Let me thank you, Senator Paul, for coming on the Sarah Carter Show. This is the first time you've been on the show, and I have been wanting to get you on for some time now. I think now is the best time, though. You have been avidly outspoken about this ridiculous trillions of dollars spending bill and what's happening in Washington, D.C. I wanted to ask you, what would be the impact on our liberty, in your opinion, if the Democrats get what they want with this spending bill?
This spending bill will spend more than $1 billion per page. So this is an enormous, something we've never ever seen, unprecedented amount of spending, but also an unprecedented amount of borrowing. So we're approaching a $30 trillion national debt. We borrow more than a couple of $1 million every minute. And there are ramifications to all that borrowing. Basically, the Federal Reserve finances this by creating new money. It floods the marketplace and causes your prices to rise. So ultimately, this is a bait and switch. This is sort of Democrats saying, hey, free college, free daycare, won't cost you anything. But what they don't tell you is the price of gas is going up, the price of your groceries is going up. And ultimately, you pay for this by higher prices. You pay for this through inflation.
Right. Extraordinary inflation. Senator Chuck Schumer, is trying to cast the blame on almost on everything on the Republicans. He's like, hey, you guys promised last year, through the COVID spending package, you said that we were going to be able to take care of this. And now you want to back away. How do you respond to that? What do you say to Schumer and these allegations that he's trying to put everything with regard to the spending bill on the Republicans?
Well, there is blame to go around. I'd be the first to admit that there are big government Republicans that should share in some of the blame, particularly for last year's deficit. Last year was largely both parties, other than a few conservatives in the House and a few conservative Republicans like myself in the Senate, who wasn't and did not get on record as being for all of this pandemic sort of largesse that was passed out. All of it was borrowed. But both parties do deserve blame for this in the long run. This year, it's primarily been Democrats, though. There's been a $2 trillion new COVID package. Primarily Democrats voted for that. Then there was an infrastructure package, primarily voted on by Democrats. And now there's another several $1 trillion package. In the end, we might borrow $5 to $6 trillion this year. But even before we got involved with all the COVID money, we were already borrowing $1 trillion every year just for the normal expenses. And both parties do deserve blame for that. But we have to talk to the American people, because I think we're in the process of getting to the point where we might even destroy the currency. I don't want us to become Venezuela. I don't want the currency to be worthless. And when our currency becomes worthless, it means chaos for the world, because much of the world actually uses the dollar in their day-to-day transactions.